There's a version of you that already has enough, and an entire economy is working around the clock to make sure you never meet him. You feel it every time you open your phone. The new launch, the upgraded setup, the creator with the better camera, and the cleaner desk, and the life that looks like yours, plus one. You scroll, you compare, you feel a little behind. By the end of this, the math behind that feeling falls apart in your hands. Let's start with a number that should bother you. The amount you need to feel okay keeps moving. Hit a goal, and the goal slides forward. The first 1,000 from your own project felt like proof you were real. Then it became the floor. Then it became embarrassing. Same win, smaller and smaller every time you reached it. That sliding target has a name in psychology, the hedonic treadmill. You adapt to whatever you get, fast, and then it stops counting. Buy the better laptop, and within 3 weeks, it's just the laptop. The thrill of the new fades, and your baseline resets to neutral, waiting for the next hit. So you climb. You earn more, you buy more, you want more, and the satisfaction stays exactly where it started. Here's the part that should make you sit up. If wanting more is a treadmill, then who installed it? Who benefits when your enough keeps running away from you? Follow the money. Almost every dollar of marketing ever spent exists to widen the gap between what you have and what you think you need. That's the whole product. A feeling of lack, manufactured and sold back to you with a checkout button underneath. An entire planet of brilliant people wake up each morning with one job: to make sure the desk you bought last year embarrasses you this year. And they're good at it. They have your data, your scroll speed, the exact second your thumb hesitates. They know contentment is the one thing they can never let you feel for long. Because a content person is a terrible customer. He doesn't refresh the drop. He doesn't pre-order. He just builds and rests and builds again. So wanting less is a monk fantasy you'd never put on a vision board, right? Look closer. It's a direct attack on the machine that's been farming your attention since you were 12, which raises an uncomfortable question about the goals you're chasing right now. How many of them are actually yours? Sit with that one. The body you want, the income figure, the apartment, the audience size. Trace each one back. Some of them are real, born from something inside you, and some were handed to you so smoothly you never saw the hand. You inherited a craving and mistook it for ambition. Think about a guy who builds his coding side project for 2 years, dreaming of the day he can quit and go full-time. The day comes, he quits. And 3 weeks into the freedom he chased, he's restless, already scanning for a bigger number. The freedom was real. His ability to feel it had been switched off somewhere along the way. That's the cost no one prices in. You know the version of this in your own life. The win that felt flat. The thing you were sure would fix you, that fixed nothing. Because the wanting just relocated to a new target the moment you arrived. You got the thing. The thing did its job, and the hunger walked right past it. Now, the obvious objection. Doesn't this whole idea just talk you into being broke and calling it wisdom? Isn't want less the exact thing comfortable people say to keep ambitious people quiet? Fair, and it would be true if wanting less meant doing less. Watch the difference closely, because everything turns on it. Wanting less is about the floor. The ceiling stays sky high. It's the same muscle you build when you hold a fast past the first hunger wave and your body stops begging. I've been logging mine on Temper. Tracks each metabolic phase as it hits. Link in the description. And the pattern is identical. Decide what counts as enough to be okay, then build like a maniac on top of that solid ground. The man who needs the next purchase to feel fine negotiates from fear. The man who's already fine negotiates from power. Same skills. The second one wins more because he can walk away from any deal, any client, any room. This is the leverage nobody put in the productivity course. Low overhead, on your wants as much as your spending is the most underrated asset a young builder can own. When your enough is small and honest, you can say no. No to the client who disrespects you. No to the trend that isn't yours. No to the grind that's quietly eating years you can't refund. Every yes you're forced into is a wanting you failed to question. Picture two builders, same skill, same start. One needs 5 figures a month to feel like he's winning, so he takes every job, burns out, and dilutes his work into noise. The other decided what a good life actually costs him, found it was less than he feared, and now only builds what sharpens him. Give it 5 years. The second one has range, taste, and a body of work he's proud of. The first one has a nicer car and a hollow look. The gap between them was never talent. It was appetite, governed, or feral. So how do you actually govern it while keeping every want that matters? You get specific. Vague wanting is what the machine feeds on. Try this. Take the thing you're currently convinced you need, the upgrade, the milestone, the look. Ask it one question. What feeling am I actually buying here? Almost always, it's one of 3. Respect, safety, the sense that you're moving and not stuck. Now ask the brutal follow-up. Is this purchase the real route to that feeling, or just the one with the slickest ad behind it? Most wants fold under that second question. The few that survive are worth your whole life. That's the filter. Run everything through it. A want that survives honest interrogation is a compass. A want that dissolves the second you name its real source was someone else's idea, planted in your head. You just stopped paying rent on a stranger's version of a good life. Run the same filter on your time, not just your money. The same machinery that sells you objects also sells you ways to spend your hours. The endless scroll dressed up as research. The 4th course on a skill you'll never use, bought to feel like you're moving. The comparison loop where you watch other builders ship and call it inspiration, while you ship nothing. Each one promises progress and delivers the feeling of progress, which is a different product entirely. You can be exhausted at midnight and have built nothing, because busyness was sold to you as a substitute for direction. Ask the work the same brutal question you ask the purchase. Is this the real route to where I'm going, or just the one that looks like motion? The honest answer reorganizes your whole week. And once you start doing this, something strange happens to your time. The hours you used to spend earning to buy to impress come back to you. That's the actual currency here. Hours, not money. The one resource that never refunds, never compounds back, never goes on sale. Every imaginary need you kill hands you back a piece of your own life. Here's where it turns, though, because contentment has a trap door, and I'd be lying to skip it. Wanting less can curdle into wanting nothing, into using the language of peace to dodge the hard, scary work of building something real. That's the failure mode, and it's seductive because it feels like wisdom while it's fear in a calmer outfit. So hold both. Want less of what the machine sells you. Want more of what only you can make. Drop the craving for the lifestyle. Keep the hunger for the craft. Cut the appetite for applause. Feed the appetite for getting genuinely, undeniably good at something. The discipline lives in aiming desire at things the algorithm can't sell you and can't take back. Because the things that survive this filter share a quality. They can't be bought finished. The skill in your hands. The trust you've earned. The body you built rep by rep. A mind that can sit alone in a room and stay off the phone. Nobody ships these. There's no premium tier. You assemble them slowly, with attention and time, and once they're yours, no recession, no algorithm change, no richer creator can touch them. That's the wealth in the title. The reason nobody sells you wanting less is brutally simple. There's no margin in a satisfied human. Your contentment is their lost sale. So they'll fund 1,000 videos telling you to optimize, scale, and upgrade, and almost none telling you you're already standing on enough ground to build a life from. The quietest rebellion available to you is deciding on a normal Tuesday that you have what you need to start. And then starting, building from fullness, working because the work is yours, not because a hole inside you needs filling by Friday. You felt behind when this started. Go back and check that feeling now. It was a signal installed by people who profit from your restlessness, and you can uninstall it the same way you'd close a tab. So here's the work, and it's harder than any hustle. Figure out what your enough actually is. Write the real number, the real life, the real floor. Make it specific enough to defend. Then guard that line like it's the last honest thing you own, because in an economy built on your dissatisfaction, it is. The richest people you'll ever meet are the ones who stopped letting strangers decide what wanting even means. They build with steady hands because they're free of a wound someone sold them. They sleep, they focus. They finish things while everyone around them is still refreshing a feed, waiting for a launch to tell them what to want next. You can be that, starting today, without buying a single item. One decision, made and remade every morning. This is enough to begin. The world spent years teaching you to feel poor while standing in plenty. Spend the next year unlearning it, and watch how much you build when you're no longer building to fill a hole. The hole was rented. Stop paying. The ground under your feet was always yours.